This morning on CBS 2 News, funerals begin for students killed in last week's school shooting. What we're learning about those young lives taken far too soon. Plus, a hectic holiday travel weekend winding down, but not without more flight delays and cancellations. The trio of challenges being blamed for ongoing problems this morning and how things look out at BOI. Plus, $8 a gallon for gas, where you apparently want to stay far away from at all costs. And what's next for record prices here in the U.S.
CBS 2 News This Morning starts now.
Yeah, we really know how to start you off on a good note, right? Well, good morning and welcome to CBS 2 News. It is 5 o'clock on the dot. You're looking live outside of our downtown Boise on this Tuesday. It is May 31st. Thanks for joining us. I'm Denny Hawkins. We'll send it over now to Sarah Jacobson for a check on your forecast. We had snow up at Bogus Basin behind you there yesterday, Sarah. The camera a little more visible this morning than yesterday, though.
Yes, definitely. And not only snow at Bogus Basin, guys, we got up to 5 inches, which has lots of people itching to get up the mountain, but it almost feels like a joke to a lot of people. You know, we should have seen this much earlier in the season. Thankful to see it now, and we will talk about snow water equivalent and snowpack coming up in just a few minutes. But as of this morning, we are still seeing some spotty showers pushing through the Magic Valley, as well as some patchy fog. We can note again from our live cam over the Bogus Basin area. We are seeing this again in some of our mountain valleys, as well as even the Treasure Valley. That is expected to dissipate closer to the morning hour, but just keep that in mind if you are going to be commuting early this morning. Mostly cloudy skies across the region. We are going to see some clearing as of today for us here in the Treasure Valley. Still a chance of a few showers in the afternoon for our friends in the mountains, but they will be light. Snow levels will be high, about 5,000 feet. 45 right now, calm winds, dew point looking at 43, feeling right on par with that 45 degrees outside, very mild. A look across the upper Treasure Valley. Let's take a look a little further out for us here in southwestern Idaho, but overall, current temperatures right now in the mid-40s, so not too bad. 38 for our friends up in McCall. Good morning for our friends in the central Idaho mountains. Hope you're having a good start to your morning. But this is the showers we're seeing, a backing low pushing again east to west through the Magic Valley. So that's why we're still seeing the chance of a few spotty showers, especially if you are going to be commuting between Boise and Mountain Home, or Boise and the Glens Ferry area. We're going to start seeing that dissipating. Twin Falls moving west over the next hour or so. So as long as you're not washing your car early this morning, you are in the green good category, as we see clearing today, and it's green all the way through Wednesday, Thursday, sunshine, beautiful conditions as we continue to warm up. So a look at your adventure cast for today. It's going to be a gorgeous day no matter what time you want to get out. But again, note that patchy fog for your morning commute. Denny.
All right, thanks, Sarah. It's 5:02 this morning. Everything looking good on the quad cam here. Interstate running smoothly, very little traffic. One potential hiccup, I would say later in the morning if this is still an issue. Crews are responding to a structure fire out on Cleveland Boulevard. This is at R&R Muffler, that business. Crews responding to a structure fire. They are there are traffic impacts in that area. We'll of course be checking in with Ron O'Brien here in the next hour or so to learn more details. But if you are driving in that area, do expect for the potential of a road closure or at least delays in that area. Of course, we'll update you as we learn more. That's it for now. When you get in the car, though, just turn on News Talk KBOI either on 670 AM or 93.1 FM for more team traffic updates. Well, funerals begin today for some of the victims of the deadly mass school shooting in Texas. It's now been 1 week since 19 students and 2 teachers were gunned down at Robb Elementary School. Bradley Blackburn has more on that and also how lawmakers in Washington are trying to find compromise in the gun control debate.
Funerals will be held today for 2 of the victims of last week's school shooting. Amory Jo Garza and Maite Rodriguez, both just 10 years old, were killed in their classroom 1 week ago. Maite's cousin says the 4th grader dreamed of becoming a marine biologist.
She didn't deserve it, but I just know in that moment she was brave. She was telling people where to hide.
Visitation was held yesterday for the girls at this funeral home, just steps from Robb Elementary. That's where the gunman initially began shooting before his attack on the school.
She looks amazing. She has this pretty white dress. That casket, she looks like nothing happened to her. She looks like she died at peace. We all know the reality.
A push to tear down the school is gaining momentum, including from the city's mayor.
I would never expect a child to have to ever walk in those doors ever ever again.
In Washington, the debate over gun control continues. A bipartisan group of senators is meeting over Zoom today to search for common ground.
I've been pretty motivated all along.
President Biden hopes the latest tragedies will help convince more Republicans to come to the bargaining table.
I think things have gotten so bad that everybody's getting more rational about it. At least that's my hope and prayer.
Following the 2012 school shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown, Connecticut, Congress failed to pass legislation expanding background checks. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
Well, funerals in Uvalde are happening nearly every day through June 15th. All right, we turn live to the Boise airport this morning, expecting still a busier day there today as people come and go after the long holiday weekend. Flight cancellations, though, across the country have made Memorial Day travel more complicated. CBS News reports more than 7,000 flights were canceled over the weekend. Many airlines say staffing issues were partly to blame. They also said a lot of employees called out with COVID, and bad weather in the east made things even worse. None of it stopped people from traveling, though. TSA says it screened a total of about 6.5 million passengers during the first 3 days of the holiday weekend.
This was the busiest I've seen it in the last 6 months.
So the Boise airport is also expecting record travel, not just this past weekend, but through the summer as well. We'll check in on their flight status there. Everything's still looking good for the most part. Everything's scheduled to be on time. One Alaska flight expected to arrive from San Fran is delayed. So if you have someone coming home on that flight, know that that might be a bit off timing. You can check with the airline for more information. If you've got family flying out, I believe most everything looking okay so far. We'll, of course, update you throughout the show if that changes. Well, the majority of people drove to and from their holiday destination. Gas prices not making that trip any easier. So here's a check where we stand this morning. If you're coming back from out of state, the national average sitting at $4.62 a gallon, but in Idaho we're at $4.73, up nearly 30 cents from a month ago. For the cheapest prices, head over to the Albertsons on Apple Street in East Boise. You can fill up for $4.59 a gallon there. And now to your daily reminder that, yep, it could be worse. People are paying more than $8 a gallon in some parts of California. Those prices you just saw, $8.05, was from a Chevron station in downtown LA. That's actually one of the lowest prices around, people said. Diesel is now costing more than $9 a gallon in some places there. California's average price is $6.17. And unfortunately, some experts say in California and elsewhere, things are only likely to get worse this summer.
There is still the possibility that we could see the national average go even higher. I would say or estimate 60% odds of the national average hitting that $5 a gallon mark at some point later this summer.
Oof, yikes. Well, no word on when prices might start to go down. Experts don't think it's going to be anytime soon. In the meantime, more Americans are turning to riding their bikes or buying an electric vehicle. Well, the president is meeting with the head of the Federal Reserve today to talk about the nation's inflation crisis. This, of course, happening as inflation takes a continued toll on people all over the country, from gas prices to other necessities. Biden says tackling inflation is a top economic priority. Fed Chair Jerome Powell said he plans to keep hiking interest rates until inflation comes down. But of course, some are worried this could also push the economy into a recession. So stay tuned. We are going to take a closer look at that upcoming conversation and also the potential implications here in the next 10 minutes. For the latest, you can always head to idahonews.com. All right, well, we know times are tough for so many people right now between gas prices and just the high cost of everything, all the necessities out there. So CBS 2 and News Talk KBOI want to help. We're teaming up to help Idaho families in need with the Salvation Army. This is a hygiene drive happening next Wednesday, June 8th, not April 8th. Wow. You can drop off your donations here at our studios in downtown Boise. The address is on your screen. It's 140 North 16th Street. Now, the Salvation Army is going to distribute all of the items that we collect here downtown to local families, some of them who've been impacted by things like domestic abuse, others who are struggling to pay bills. We're going to be taking donations from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. next Wednesday. Here are a lot of the needed items. They're all on your screen. We need things like shampoo, conditioner, body wash, face wash, soap, toothbrushes, toothpaste, dental floss, you name it. To learn more, or if you'd like to make a monetary donation online, that's okay too. You can visit idahonews.com. We have all of that information there. Yeah, just, you know what, one of those times, I think we've said this consistently, it feels like for the past several years, that, you know, neighbors are in need and you never know who your donation is going to help.
Yeah, and the cool thing about this, it all goes right back into our community. And, you know, especially we keep saying this because a lot of people they're not able to buy those simple supplies like, toothbrush, toothpaste. So if we're able to do that as a community, hey, it makes everyone feel great. It helps people out. all above, it's helping everyone out.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. All right,
all
well,
good things.
Mother Nature's been helping us out in the
Yes.
rain department as far as snow water equivalent, snowpack, all these conversations that we like to have more in like February, March,
Yes.
rather than the end of May going into June. Yet here we are.
I know, we're one day away from June
Yeah.
and 5 inches up at Bogus Basin.
Crazy. I mean, it's definitely happened before, but I'm still going to call it crazy.
No, definitely. It's nice to see, especially after, the drought that we're looking at moving into summer. And I want to talk a little bit about our snowpack as well, if we can bump that up. So this is our Idaho Snow Tell, our percent of snow water equivalent. So anything above 100% is where we normally are, that average. So right now, Boise, for this time of the year. So right now, just a snapshot in time. So this last system that moved through, it has bumped some people above even the 173% mark for Payette, 222 for our friends up in the Salmon area. Boise right now looking at 98% of normal, but really the one that we want to note is right here where our state's drought has been, again, year after year, just continuing to compound on one another. So it's good to be able to see some of these numbers. While it won't take away our drought completely, it is at least good news for this snapshot in time. We needed more moisture, and luckily Mother Nature did that for us. So out the door forecast this morning, you may still be seeing some scattered showers depending on where you are in the Magic Valley because of this system yesterday still exiting our region. So as you're heading out the door this morning, 49 at 9 a.m., 52 by the time we hit 11. And then today, daytime highs will be a little bit warmer than what we experienced yesterday, about 5 to 10 degrees, depending on where you are. 64 for us here in the Boise area. So if you want to go out and give your dog a nice little walk, we are looking good. Highs 63 to 67, depending on where you are. We are seeing that patchy fog again in the morning. So for your commute, just take it easy out there. That again, with daytime heating, will burn off. So we are looking at clearing, warmer conditions, a mix of sun and clouds, and our sunset at 9:19 p.m. So a little bit more sunshine. Here's a look at our precipitation chances today. Again, staying very low for the region. So if you do want to get out and get your car washed, you are in the green, good to go. And as we continue to warm with sunshine heading into the, again, at least the mid part of your week. So overall, as you're heading out the door this morning, very mild out there. Just grab a nice jacket. Again, you may be dodging some raindrops if you are in the upper Treasure Valley or the western Magic Valley. But other than that, hey, a good start to your Tuesday.
Okay, yeah, I like that we're clearing out and drying out for a little bit. So it should be nice to see some warmer temperatures on the horizon. We'll talk more about that here shortly, I'm sure. 5:12 this morning, everything looking good on I-84 and all the major roadways in and out of Boise. One potential problem spot in Caldwell on Cleveland Boulevard. Crews are working a structure fire there and potential for a road closure or at least detours around that response. So we'll of course keep you posted on if we hear more about that throughout the show, but do expect that could cause problems if crews are still out there as we get toward the more of the morning rush. For now, hopefully light traffic out in that area. When you get in the car, you can always turn on News Talk KBOI either on 670 AM or 93.1 FM for more team traffic updates. Straight ahead this morning, addressing the U.S.'s inflation crisis, we're going to have a closer look at the country's ongoing struggle to make ends meet and also more on the implications of that key meeting we mentioned happening today. Plus, Russia blocking Ukrainian grain exports from leaving the country, the global implications this logjam could have in the months ahead. All right, how about our question of the day? We're going to look back at yesterday's first. Almost 60% of people agree that you shouldn't do this before 8 a.m. The answer was call someone. Yeah, that makes sense. And I think, I don't know, sometimes we're trying to set up stories and, work on things after the morning show. And I do try to wait until after 8 now that I think about it. But like 8:01, I'm like, all right, you should be up. Either that or you're already at work. Come on.
It's the afternoon for us.
Yeah. All right. Just kidding. Coming up, we'll look at today's question. 2/3 of us say we do this just to try to fit in. Oh, boy. What is this? What do you think? Share with us on Facebook or Twitter. We'll go over some guesses coming up in about a half hour.
Hey folks, 5:16 on your Tuesday. Idaho City today, 58 degrees. We are looking at a mix of sun and clouds, though patchy fog for your early morning. Tonight, 37 for that overnight low. Still just looking at a mix of sun and clouds, a little bit of more cloud cover overnight, but clearing as we head into tomorrow, 62 for your daytime high.
All right, thanks, Sarah. You're looking live in our nation's capital now at 5:16. President Biden and the head of the Federal Reserve set to meet today to talk about the country's inflation crisis. This, of course, as prices for just about everything keep going up. John Lawrence has a closer look at the ongoing struggle to make ends meet.
President Joe Biden is meeting with Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell Tuesday, according to a White House official who says the tete-a-tete will focus on the inflation crisis gripping the country.
The American families are confronting price increases. They're having a hard time dealing with their family budgets.
One of the items hitting people in the wallet especially hard, filling up the car.
I certainly have rethought some of my summer plans, both in flying and in driving.
The national average for a gallon of regular is more than $4.60 as of Tuesday, according to GasBuddy.com.
Price is now up $1.55 a gallon from a year ago, and it may get worse before it gets better. The average commute may be 12 and a half miles, and the average car gets 25 miles a gallon combined. You know, you're going to pay $4.60 every day on your way to and from work, and that's certainly going to add up over the course of a week.
Many Americans are also dealing with sticker shock at the grocery store, where double-digit year-over-year price hikes are being seen from mustard to frozen meat.
Supply has been hurt by extreme weather that's lowered crop yields. Labor costs are up. The war in Ukraine has disrupted supply. So all of these different factors adding to the cost of living.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Well, Ukraine's president says Russia is right now blocking millions of tons of grain from being shipped out of the country. President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia's deliberately blocking about 22 million tons to prevent Ukraine from earning money. Now, Ukraine warns the blockade actually threatens to create a famine crisis in other countries as well. Well, McDonald's is getting ready to pull out of Russia, and when it happens, the existing locations will change their names. So McDonald's, of course, is selling all 850 locations in light of the war to a Russian businessman who owns 25 of his own locations. Patent filings indicate the new potential names could be something like Fun and Tasty or Just Like That. The new stores are set to open mid-June. Fun and Tasty?
Okay. All right, let's switch gears and talk a little bit about the weather because, yesterday, actually the past couple of days, getting some of that rain has been so nice. Everything's, it was already green, but now it's greening up even more.
Yeah.
We saw quite a bit of snow.
I know the timing is kind of frustrating for people with Memorial Day weekend, or potentially eyeing another storm in the weekend ahead, but it's like, we need it, and it does make everything look really beautiful.
It does. We didn't get it, when you don't get it in February and March, luckily we at least are seeing some now. So, we're taking it where we can get it. Not too bad. Let's take a live look out there this morning because we are seeing first light. Yeah, up at Tamarack. It's such a beautiful view. One of my favorite colors of blue as well, but a beautiful morning. Good morning to our friends up there in the Long Valley. It is chilly for this morning, a little more mild though than what we experienced yesterday. All you're going to need is a light jacket if you are stepping out the door. And as you're starting the day with your frosted weather wheats, keep in mind there is a chance for a few spotty showers in the western Magic Valley. Us here in the Treasure Valley, we are expected to just see some of that cloud cover, some patchy fog as well, but you may be dodging a raindrop as you're heading out the door. So don't forget that rain jacket. 45 at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. 46, 8 a.m. 47. And our temperature history, look at this nosedive, guys. So we finally get up to some warmer temperatures and then down we go. Looking at 51 for yesterday. Today, though, we are going to see temperatures much near our average high, still about a good 5 degrees cooler. But again, we are going to continue to warm on up. This is that precipitation I was talking about earlier. Again, it's moving east to west through the Magic Valley. So if you're commuting between Boise and the Mountain Home area, Boise Glens Ferry, you may again be dodging some of those raindrops. But for our friends up in our mountain valleys, everything looking good. Good morning up in McCall, 38 degrees right now. Seeing just a mix of sky and clouds. Get that large cup of coffee this morning. We're not quite to the smaller ones. We're not looking at the latter half of your work week just yet. But we do have another storm system, as Denny said, next weekend, but it doesn't look like it's going to be bolstering much as far as our temperatures. So right now, what we're looking at right now across the Treasure Valley, 38 in McCall, 45 for our friends in Boise. We're looking at mid-40s for us here in the Treasure Valley. So here's a look at our precipitation chances. A chance of seeing a few spotty showers again in our mountains for today, but that will again taper off by about 9 o'clock p.m. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast for you. You guys are going to like this because, hey, not only are we warming up into tomorrow, but the day after that, finally getting above our average high. Then the weekend comes. And again, another storm system moves in.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll be prepared for it, but at least our temperatures don't nosedive down into the 50s again. That high of 51, what do we tie our all-time record low or something? For this date, for that particular date and time. Ugh, all right. I'm done breaking records on so many different equations here this year. All right, 521 traffic looking good. Not much going on out there. We do have a structure fire out on Cleveland Boulevard that crews are responding to. Still seeing that crews are on scene responding to that. So do know you could run into to a delay or perhaps a closure in that area depending on their response and where they need to throw their hose lines. So that is still going on out there in Caldwell. Again, Cleveland Boulevard, a potential problem spot later in the morning if that continues. For now, everything else looking A-OK. When you get in the car, just turn on News Talk KBOI either on 670 AM or 93.1 FM for more updates. Coming up this morning, stepping up to the plate. We'll have a preview of what to expect during the Boise Hawks summer season this year. And later, the 2022 fire season off to a bad start, statistically speaking. How many acres have burned already this year compared to an average one, and what it might signal for the summer ahead.
Be the first to know about breaking Idaho news and get help planning your day with the latest detailed weather forecast. Download the CBS 2 mobile app today. Sponsored by Westmark Credit Union.
This is CBS 2 News this morning.
5:25 on your Tuesday. Baseball season now underway for the Boise Hawks. Fans braved the cold and rain over the holiday weekend to see the team play, but don't worry, plenty more games on the schedule with nicer weather ahead. CBS 2's Angela Kerndl shares what fans can expect out there this season.
The start of the Boise Hawks season is underway.
We're thrilled to get started.
Hawks manager Mike Van Heist says over the last year they invested about $500,000 in player amenities and the fan experience, including a new beer garden and kids area.
Fans, even if they haven't never been here before or have been coming here year in and year out, when they walk in Memorial Stadium, a lot of things are going to be different.
For those new to the area, there's a lot to enjoy at the Hawks games.
I really like when the Hawks go up to bat. It's just so fun to see like the home runs.
CBS 2 is proud to sponsor Fireworks Fridays several times throughout the season. The first happening Friday night after the game. There's Sunday fun days for kids.
I recommend it. It's so fun just to go to the games, get treats, sit and watch the game.
And on June 4th, the actor who played Smalls in The Sandlot will be here to meet fans.
You're kidding me, Smalls!
Hawks are starting their season off 2-3.
I'm looking forward to watching all of their games, and hopefully they don't lose a lot of them.
All right, good wishes there. Well, coming up on CBS 2, today marks 1 week since 19 students and 2 teachers were gunned down at a school in Texas. The latest on the debate over gun control happening in Washington as a result. Here's your primetime lineup. It is full of FBI. We've got FBI, then International, and Most Wanted. After all your favorites, join us back here for CBS 2 News at 10. And our question of the day, 2/3 of us say we do this just to try to fit in. What is it? We'll read some guesses coming up next. This morning on CBS 2 News, funerals begin today for students killed in last week's school shooting in Texas. What we're learning about the young lives taken far too soon. Plus, a hectic holiday travel weekend winding down, but not without more flight delays and cancellations this morning. The trio of challenges being blamed for the ongoing problems. And $8 a gallon for gas. We apparently want to stay away from at all costs. And what's next for record prices here in the U.S.?
CBS 2 News this morning starts now.
Hey folks, happy Tuesday. A beautiful start to your morning. We're waking up in the clouds for our friends up at Schaefer Butte. As you can see, quite a bit of cloud cover across the region, mostly cloudy skies with patchy fog that we are also seeing in the Treasure Valley and Magic Valley this morning. Scattered showers as well for our friends in the Magic Valley. So you may be dodging some raindrops if you're on the eastern side of our viewing area this morning, though it's a beautiful view up there. You could stare at it for hours. Again, we do want to note that yesterday we did see above 4,500 feet, about 5 inches of fresh snowfall for some of our mountain resorts. Kind of a little bit of a tease now that we're just 1 day away from June, but temperatures right now 45 in Boise, mostly cloudy skies. Winds are calm out there, so feeling just like 45 degrees, very mild. Just note that patchy fog out there, and again, some scattered showers if you are going to be in the eastern side of the state. Temperatures right now, though, are in the mid 40s, 38 for our friends up in McCall. Good morning to you there. This is what we're seeing right now with some backing low pressure out of the Magic Valley, tracking east to west. That should diminish as we head closer to those afternoon hours. But if you do want to wash your car, just give it an hour or so and you are in the green good category as we continue to warm with sunshine as we head into the at least mid to latter half of your work week. We'll talk more about conditions coming up in just a few minutes. Denny.
All right, thanks, Sarah. It's 5:31 this morning. CBS 2 and News Talk KBOI bring you team traffic updates all morning long. Everything's been pretty quiet out there on the interstates. Very few headlights at this hour. Things running smoothly for you on this Tuesday. Welcome back from a long weekend if you had yesterday off. When you get in the car, turn on News Talk KBOI either on 670 AM or 93.1 FM for more team traffic updates. Well, funerals begin today for some of the victims of the deadly mass school shooting in Texas. It's now been 1 week since 19 students and 2 teachers were gunned down at Robb Elementary School. Bradley Blackburn has more on those memorial services and also how lawmakers in Washington are trying to find a compromise on the gun control debate.
Funerals will be held today for 2 of the victims of last week's school shooting. Amory Jo Garza and Maite Rodriguez, both just 10 years old, were killed in their classroom 1 week ago. Maite's cousin says the 4th grader dreamed of becoming a marine biologist.
She didn't deserve it, but I just know in that moment she was brave. She was telling people where to hide.
Visitation was held yesterday for the girls at this funeral home, just steps from Robb Elementary. That's where the gunman initially began shooting before his attack on the school.
She looks amazing. She has this pretty white dress. That casket, she looks like nothing happened to her. She looks like she died at peace. We all know the reality.
A push to tear down the school is gaining momentum, including from the city's mayor.
I would never expect a child to have to ever walk in those doors ever again.
In Washington, the debate over gun control continues. A bipartisan group of senators is meeting over Zoom today to search for common ground.
I've been pretty motivated all along.
President Biden hopes the latest tragedies will help convince more Republicans to come to the bargaining table.
I think things have gotten so bad that everybody's getting more rational about it. At least that's my hope and prayer.
Following the 2012 school shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown, Connecticut, Congress failed to pass legislation expanding background checks. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
Well, funerals in Uvalde are happening nearly every day through June 15th. All right, switching gears, you're looking out live at the Boise airport this morning. We are expecting a busier day there today as some people still come and go after the long holiday weekend. Flight cancellations, though, made Memorial Day travel more tricky for travelers, not just here in Boise, but around the country. CBS News reports more than 7,000 flights were canceled over the weekend. Many airlines say staffing issues were partly to blame. Also, a lot of employees calling out with COVID again. Also, bad weather in the east made things even worse, but none of it stopped people from traveling. TSA says it screened about a total of 6.5 million passengers during the first 3 days of the holiday weekend.
This was the busiest I've seen it in the last 6 months.
Now, the Boise airport is expecting record travel through the terminal this summer, so something to keep an eye on, not just this past weekend, but going forward. You're looking now at the arrivals list here at BOI. Everything is on schedule except for one flight out of San Fran. Landing here in Boise was scheduled to arrive at about 10:50 in the morning. That has been delayed, so if you've got someone coming into town on that flight, be sure to check the status on that one. Otherwise, everything on the departure side, hopefully looking okay. Well, the majority of people drove to and from their holiday destination. Gas prices didn't make that any easier trip either. Here's a check on where we stand this morning in case you're just getting back into the state. The national average is sitting at $4.62 a gallon, but in Idaho we're at $4.73. That is up nearly 30 cents from a month ago. For the cheapest prices, head over to the Albertsons on Apple Street. You can fill up for $4.59 a gallon there. And here's your daily reminder that, yeah, that sounds bad, but it could be worse. People are paying more than $8 a gallon in some parts of California. This video is from a Chevron station in downtown LA, and it's actually reportedly it's supposed to be one of the lower prices around. And then you see there diesel now costing more than $9 a gallon in some areas. California's average is $6.17 right now, the highest in the nation. Unfortunately, whether it be California or elsewhere, experts say that they are likely expecting things to only get worse.
There is still the possibility that we could see the national average go even higher. I would say or estimate 60% odds of the national average hitting that $5 a gallon mark at some point later this summer.
Now, no word on when prices might start to go down. Experts don't think it's going to be anytime soon, though. In the meantime, more Americans are turning to bikes or electric vehicles. Well, the president is meeting with the head of the Federal Reserve today to talk about the nation's inflation crisis. This, of course, as inflation takes a continued toll on people all over the country, between gas prices and everything else, the cost of goods and essentials like food and housing. Biden says tackling inflation is a top economic priority. Fed Chair Jerome Powell also said he plans to keep hiking interest rates until inflation comes down. But of course, some are also worried that could push the economy into a recession. Well, we know times are tough for so many people right now as a result of everything we've just been talking about. Well, CBS 2 and News Talk KBOI are teaming up to help Idaho families who need it most right now. We're hosting a hygiene drive this coming Wednesday, June 8th. You can drop your donations off here at our studios in downtown Boise. 140 North 16th Street is our address. The Salvation Army will then distribute all the items that you donate to local families right here in our community. Some of them have been impacted by things like domestic abuse, while others are just struggling to pay bills. But know that we'll be out there on Wednesday taking your donations from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. Here's kind of a list of the needed items, things like shampoo, conditioner, body wash, face wash. Try taking that 10 times fast. Soap, toothbrushes, toothpaste, and dental floss, all among those needed items. If you want to learn more about them, you can make a donation online as well. Just visit our website, idahonews.com. We've got all that information stacked there for you. Just another great cause and a way we can do a little bit to help a lot.
Yeah, no, and speaking of doing a little bit to help a lot, this last storm system really did help us out in a lot of ways. Lots of precipitation moving through. The good news, it is clearing, folks. I know as soon as I start talking about rain, a lot of people get a little worried, but the good news, we are clearing and warming as we head further through your work week. But this is a look at our snow water equivalent right now. This is a snapshot in time. So right now, this is where we're sitting at. So look at these percentages. Normally, we want to be at 100%. Above 100%, again, excess. Anything below that, again, we are in a deficit. So while the Boise area is looking at 98% of normal, this is actually the highest we've seen so far this year. Payette sitting at 173% of normal. The great news, though, is for the Littlewood and the Big Lost, our friends over in the Sun Valley area. This is our area that we see compounded drought year after year. So good to see some of these numbers being a little bolstered, 205% of average for our Little Lost. So again, while this won't completely wipe out our drought, it's at least good news. We do need this moisture. And what we also need is a little bit of sunshine. And luckily, that will be on tap for your Tuesday. So 49 at 9 a.m., 52 at 11 a.m. We are seeing some light fog. Again, that should dissipate as we head further into your commute hours. But 64 for the daytime high. We are looking at about a 5 to 10 degree warm up, depending on where you live. So if you want to take your dog out for a walk today, high 63 to 67. It's looking like a great time any time of the day. We are seeing some scattered showers for our friends in the Western Magic Valley. So just keep that in mind. Grab a rain jacket if you're heading out this morning in that area. But overall, what we're looking at for precipitation chances, very, very low for today. Again, we are clearing and warming as high pressure builds into the region. So if you do want to get your car washed today, it is a green good all the way through Tuesday, Wednesday into Thursday. We'll see a little more sunshine Wednesday and then really begin to warm up above averages once we hit Thursday in the low 80s. But as far as today's forecast, don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Still going to see cloud cover beginning to again taper off as we head into the evening hours, but a beautiful day overall. And we'll talk a little bit more about that and our next weather maker coming up in just a few minutes. Denny.
All right, we got to talk about traffic here too. Looking live outside at 5:39. Yeah, everything looking good on the interstate right now. Yeah, moving along smoothly should be the case for this early on a Tuesday, especially after some of our school districts are out of school for the year, so maybe lighter than average traffic volumes in general. Cleveland Boulevard out in Caldwell, potential problem spot as the morning wears on. Crews are on the scene of a structure fire. We've confirmed this morning that Cleveland Boulevard, is closed in both directions in that spot as crews fight that fire. It's on the 1400 block. Working to get more information for you, and we'll check in with Ron O'Brien, of course, later in the morning for more on the impacts of that. But just know that could be a potential hiccup if you do drive Cleveland Boulevard in the morning. Otherwise, you're in good shape. When you get in the car, turn on News Talk KBOI, either on 670 AM or 93.1 FM for all your team traffic updates. All right, and moving on to our question of the day this morning. 2/3 of us say we do this just to try to fit in. What is it?
I know. I was like, we have so many ideas.
So many things. I know. You mentioned women like wearing makeup.
Yeah, I'm thinking of I'm thinking mainly feminine things because it's like nail polish, you know, if I didn't really have to do that, never again. Just going down the list.
Yeah, I know. And like, gosh, but I'm like 2/3 of us, and then I'm like, crap, we probably should think of something that's more universal.
Exactly.
What if it's like you have a social media account, like just to keep tabs on things and like be part of that?
Nope, I know people that do that. Yeah, I know. It's just kind of pop in when you need.
I don't want to do it, but okay. Chris says buy certain clothes.
Yes, certain brands.
I know. I like suddenly find myself like trying to like see if these like new styles that are like coming back into style will work for me. I hate them, but I still get tempted to buy them because you see people wearing them and you're like, wow, I should wear this.
No, it's so true. If you've been to Target lately, guys, you'll know what she's talking about.
Oh man, like the baggy jeans, I just can't.
Not the 90s, please, no, not for the sake of all of us. Nohemi says, get coffee every morning.
Ooh, yeah, it's like almost like a social topic up in our newsroom. It's like,
actually, it really is.
Like, what'd you bring this morning? And like, and everyone's like talking about how good their coffee is and where they get it from, and I just sit there staring oddly, blankly off into the distance.
I never thought about that. Yeah, no, Denny is a tea drinker in our newsroom.
Trying my best to be a tea drinker. I used to never be either. Raylene says make conversation. Yeah, you're just like, I don't want to talk, but I feel like I should.
Oh, it's hard, yeah.
Being social is like, socially acceptable. I get it. Yeah, sometimes you just don't want to do it. All right, well, hey, we love these guesses. Keep sharing. We know there's so much out there, and I think it's just like we don't even want to admit that we do a lot that we do.
Have to think on it.
Ugh, it's unfortunate. All right, well, hey, my advice, be yourself. Do what you need to do. If you think you know the answer, though, share with us on Facebook or Twitter. We'll go over some more guesses here in about an hour, and then we'll give you the answer right before 7 o'clock this morning. And coming up on CBS 2 News, severe weather striking the Midwest. We'll look at some of the damage left behind and show you which areas could see more wicked weather out there today.
Good morning to our friends out there in Mountain Home. It is 5:45 on your Tuesday. Today, a high of 66 degrees. We are going to be seeing conditions turning nice today. Still some patchy fog out there, but tonight we are going to see mild conditions. Overnight low of 44 degrees. By tomorrow, 77 for the high, looking at sunshine as far as the eye can see.
All right, meanwhile, millions in the Midwest could see more severe weather today after some damaging storms yesterday. In Minnesota, a possible tornado destroyed dozens of homes. Bradley Blackburn has a closer look at the cleanup effort now underway there.
From the air, you can see the trail of destruction, the path of a suspected tornado in Ferrata, Minnesota. It snapped trees, ripped off roofs, and county officials say at one point cut off all roads leading to town.
There's so many trees and homes. I would say there's at least 75 to 100 structures that are totaled or severely damaged.
Fire Chief Stephen Van Luke said the storm damaged the firehouse. Crews went home to home, but thankfully found no fatalities or serious injuries. Still, many people are displaced.
The Red Cross has been here. They've been helping people find a spot to stay temporarily. So, yeah, everybody's coming together.
The severe weather system barreled through Minnesota on Memorial Day. It dumped heavy rain and left tens of thousands of people without power.
There were about 3 booms, and then you could see the sparks on the power lines.
At one point, more than 1 million Minnesotans were under a tornado watch, a rare event in this region. In Ashby, dark clouds sent families scrambling for cover.
Came right through our garage, hit it. Luckily, it didn't hit any of our house.
Severe storms also struck Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where uprooted trees crashed through homes, crushed cars, and frightened residents in the middle of the night.
Our bedroom window is right there. It would have gone across our bed.
Those severe storms are now making their way east, predicted to stretch from as far north as Michigan all the way down into Texas. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
Well, turning to fire season, there are 9 large wildfires burning in the U.S. right now, most of them in New Mexico, but we know fire season could flare up closer to home anytime now. And statistically speaking, 2022 just off to a bad start. The National Interagency Fire Center says fires have burned more than 1.8 million acres already this year, nearly 1 million acres more than average. Yeah, not what you want to hear. It's a lot of fires out there, 27,000 total, which is, I don't even know how they measure this stuff, but obviously the National Interagency Fire Center is kind of the nation's command center, and it's right here in Boise. I feel like one of those things that people are always interested to learn when they first move here. They're like, what?
And we are so lucky to have it too. Yeah, many people don't even know what it is, but it really does lead fire coverage for the entire West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, they coordinate every response almost everywhere, it seems like. So as far as getting crews where they need to go, getting resources where they need to go, so pretty impressive. Obviously, we'll be chatting a lot with them, I think, as we head into fire season.
Yeah, well, let's switch gears because, of course,
we're holding it off.
We're at least holding it off for a little bit. Yeah, keep it away from us just for a bit because of all of this precipitation we received. The good news, though,
really pretty shot.
Never mind. We're not going to talk about that. We're just going to look at this, folks. Beautiful. First light out there this morning. We are still seeing some patchy fog. I just want to note that this is Bogus Basin looking toward the Treasure Valley. It is a mild morning, but we are again seeing that fog. So just give yourself a couple extra minutes this morning as we start off the day with your frosted weather wheats. We are going to be waking up to the chance of a few spotty showers, especially if you're in the Magic Valley or the Upper Treasure Valley. A few spotty showers may be possible, so don't forget that rain jacket before heading out the door. That will quickly taper off, but overall we are looking at the mid to upper 40s to kick off your morning. But our temperature history, at least, we did see a little bit of warming as of last week, but after that we saw the nosedive that was this last storm system that pushed in. The good news, we do have another storm system moving in for next weekend, but at least we won't see these cold temperatures once again cooling us down. So some good news there. Won't be seeing the same, again, snowfall that we saw over the last 24 hours, but still expecting some precipitation for the weekend. Maybe not the best timing, but it is when it's going to be falling. So, hey, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but what we're looking at right now, just some scattered showers moving east to west through the Magic Valley once again. So if you're traveling between Boise and the Mountain Home area, again, maybe dodging some raindrops. Make sure those windshield wipers are ready. Good morning to our friends up in McCall, 38 right now. A large coffee for you to get you going. A live look at the airport. Temperatures in the mid 40s, 38 for our friends up there in McCall. And what we're looking at today, again, those spotty showers tapering off for the Magic Valley. And then we do have the chance of a few spotty showers up in the mountains for the afternoon, only for a few hours, just, some slight rainfall. But other than that, it's going to be a beautiful day as we clear and warm heading further through your work week.
Yeah, it should feel nice. If we get out there this afternoon and we're in the 60s with sunshine and it's not windy, it should feel good.
Oh yeah, no winds are planned, so that's the good news. A beautiful day.
Good. And then starting June off on a good note. All right, 5:50 this morning. We'll check in on the drive one more time before 6 o'clock this morning. Freeway roads still looking good. ID4, the connector, all of that still in good shape. Cleveland Boulevard, portion of that road out in Caldwell is closed. Crews are working a structure fire. I believe they've got their hose lines across that road trying to knock that down. They've been on scene since about 4:30 this morning. So if that is a prolonged issue, could definitely cause some traffic backups. But know that if you typically take that route, you may want to find a detour this morning, no matter what time you're leaving. Otherwise, when you get in the car, just turn on News Talk KBOI for all your team traffic updates. And still to come this morning, summer travel expected to rebound in a big way this summer, especially overseas. We're going to look at some of the top destinations in Europe and show you a few things you can do to try to beat the crowds wherever you go.
This is CBS 2 News this morning.
All right, looking ahead to the summer travel season now, health experts are warning that COVID-19 cases could rebound around the globe, but many of the restrictions and rules have lifted both here and in Europe, and as a result, travel is starting to look more like it did before the pandemic. Wendy Gillette has some advice for how to deal with the rebounding crowds if you're planning a big trip soon.
Travel from the U.S. to Europe could soar as much as 600% compared to last year, according to recent data from Allianz Partners.
The exciting thing for me is the energy is back in Europe.
European travel expert Rick Steves just returned from a 45-day research tour of the continent.
It's just going to be busy. For the first time in my career, I've been recommending you need to make reservations for restaurant dinners.
He also advises figuring out which museums require advance reservations, determining when cruise ships will be docked to avoid places when they're crowded with passengers, and visiting secondary cities.
I mean, everybody goes to the first cities, Edinburgh, why not Glasgow? Everybody goes to Paris. Check out Marseille.
If you're dead set on the hot spots and really want to do it up, consider indulging at a Parisian palace. Not an actual palace, but the French designation for an exclusive category of luxury hotels. Hotel Lutetia is the most recent of 12 Paris properties on the list.
So it's better than a 5-star hotel.
The Four Seasons George Cinq made the cut. The brand, which also just opened the San Domenico Palace in Taormina, Italy, in a 14th century convent, has created one of the most famous hotels in the world, thanks to its Michelin-starred restaurants and lavish flower displays.
The flowers that change, every 6-7 weeks. We change the color schemes. We have florists on site too.
You can also stay in a real palace and have the whole place to yourself. It's an option here in Vienna, Austria, at the city's famous Schönbrunn Palace. When the horse-drawn carriages and tourists clear out, you're left inside, staying in an opulent two-bedroom suite with views of the famous gardens.
You can walk around in the park areas all alone, and that is really unique and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
We got special rates to check out the hotels. This one starts at $900, so you can feel like royalty, at least for a night. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, Vienna.
Yeah, I wouldn't make it a night at that price. All right, coming up on CBS 2 News this morning, today marks 1 week since 19 students and 2 teachers were gunned down at a school in Texas. We have the latest on the debate over gun control happening in Washington. Plus, addressing the U.S.'s inflation crisis, a closer look at the country's ongoing struggle to make ends meet and the implications of a key meeting happening today. You're watching CBS 2 News this morning. We're back at the top of the hour with more headlines.
Take the news with you on the radio, 670 KBOI. And for news and information 24 hours a day, click on idahonews.com.
This morning on CBS 2 News, funerals begin for students killed in last week's school shooting in Texas. What we're learning about the young lives taken far too soon. Plus, a hectic holiday travel weekend winding down, but not without more flight delays and cancellations. The trio of challenges being blamed for the ongoing problems this morning. And $8 a gallon for gas. Gross, where you apparently want to stay away from at all costs. And what's next for record gas prices here in the U.S.?
CBS 2 News this morning starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to CBS 2 News. You're looking live outside over downtown Boise on this Tuesday. It's May 31st, still looking a little bit gray and gloomy out there. Any showers coming down this morning, Sarah, or are we mostly done with that? Woo, cool picture from above.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, everybody come wake up with us up in the clouds. A beautiful view of first light. Yeah, if you are in the Western Magic Valley, Denny, you are going to be seeing some light scattered showers. So just keep that in mind. May want to grab a rain jacket if you're heading out the door, but that should taper off in the next hour to 2 hours. But a beautiful view up here. This is actually looking toward Idaho City. We do have patchy fog, as you can see, across the region. Now, as we do see more of that daytime heating, it will eventually burn off. But if you are commuting up in the mountains this morning, just take it easy out there. Take your time. 46 right now here in Boise. Again, mostly cloudy skies, looking a little gray and dull to start off your Tuesday, but it is going to get much nicer as we wear on into the day. Winds are calm outside, so it is feeling like 46 degrees. Some temperatures across the Treasure Valley. Let's take a look a little further out in southwestern Idaho and eastern Oregon. We are looking at mid-40s, 38 for our friends up in McCall. Good morning to you, to our friends up in the Long Valley. Right now, what we're seeing, precipitation moving east to west through the Magic Valley, just south of I-84. So again, if you're commuting between Boise and the Mountain Home area, you may be dodging some showers. But after the next hour or so, if you do want to get in the car and do a little car wash, you are looking in the green good to go category as we are clearing out. Wednesday warming even further, keeping it nice and sunny as we head into Thursday. And coming up, we'll talk a little bit more about what we can expect for our next weather maker over the weekend and just how hot we're going to get. Denny.
All right, Sarah, thank you. CBS 2 and News Talk KBOI bringing team traffic updates all morning long. It is still very quiet out there. On the roads, more headlights at 6 a.m. than about an hour ago, but no issues here on the freeway. Cleveland Boulevard out in Caldwell is closed. Crews are working a structure fire there out near the Walmart. So if you do drive in that direction, you may want to find a detour this morning. Still seeing that they are on scene this morning. Their hose lines likely running across the roadway there. So that could be one potential issue as we get more through the morning and traffic starts to build in that area, but otherwise you're in good shape. When you get in the car, turn on News Talk KBOI either on 670 AM or 93.1 FM for more updates. Well, funerals begin today for some of the victims of that deadly mass school shooting in Texas. It's now been 1 week since 19 students and 2 teachers were gunned down at Robb Elementary School. Bradley Blackburn has more on those memorial services and how lawmakers in Washington are trying to find compromise in the gun control debate.
Funerals will be held today for 2 of the victims of last week's school shooting. Amory Jo Garza and Maite Rodriguez, both just 10 years old, were killed in their classroom 1 week ago. Maite's cousin says the 4th grader dreamed of becoming a marine biologist.
She didn't deserve it, but I just know in that moment she was brave. She was telling people where to hide.
Visitation was held yesterday for the girls at this funeral home, just steps from Robb Elementary. That's where the gunman initially began shooting before his attack on the school.
She looks amazing. She has this pretty white dress. That casket, she looks like nothing happened to her. She looks like she died at peace. We all know the reality.
A push to tear down the school is gaining momentum, including from the city's mayor.
I would never expect a child to have to ever walk in those doors ever again.
In Washington, the debate over gun control continues. A bipartisan group of senators is meeting over Zoom today to search for common ground.
I've been pretty motivated all along.
President Biden hopes the latest tragedies will help convince more Republicans to come to the bargaining table.
I think things have gotten so bad that everybody's getting more rational about it. At least that's my hope and prayer.
Following the 2012 school shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown, Connecticut, Congress failed to pass legislation expanding background checks. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
Funerals in Uvalde are happening every day or nearly every day through June 15th. Well, developing news, you're looking out live at the Boise airport now this morning. Expecting a busier day there today still as people come and go after the long holiday weekend. Flight cancellations, though, have made Memorial Day travel tricky for travelers. CBS News reports more than 7,000 flights were canceled over the weekend. Many airlines say staffing issues were partly to blame. A lot of employees also called out with COVID as well. And bad weather in the east made things even worse. But yeah, hey, none of it stopped people from traveling. TSA says it screened about a total of 6.5 million passengers during the first 3 days of the holiday weekend.
This was the busiest I've seen it in the last 6 months.
So the Boise airport not just expecting big crowds this past weekend, but they are expecting record travel through the summer as well at the terminal. So taking a quick check on everything on the Boise airport's flight tracker, everything on the departure side running on time. This is the arrivals terminal that the arrivals dock you're seeing here. One delayed flight coming in from San Francisco was supposed to land about 10:50 this morning. That has been delayed. No word on how long, but check with your flight or your airline or your family if they are flying back in on that plane today. The majority of people actually drove to their holiday destination, to and from, I should say. Gas prices not making that trip any easier either. Here's a check on where we stand this morning. The national average sitting at $4.62 a gallon. We're up to $4.73 a gallon for the average here in Idaho, though. That is 30 cents higher than a month ago. For the cheapest prices, head over to the Albertsons on Apple Street. You can fill up for $4.59 a gallon there. And of course, with that, your daily reminder that it could be worse. Get this, people are driving and paying more than $8 a gallon in some parts of California for gas. This is from a Chevron station in downtown LA. Reportedly, that $8.05 is one of the lower prices around. And diesel now costs over $9 a gallon in some areas. California's average as a state is $6.17, the highest in the country. But whether it's there or anywhere else, experts say, unfortunately, things are likely to only get worse.
There is still the possibility that we could see the national average go even higher. I would say or estimate 60% odds of the national average hitting that $5 a gallon mark at some point later this summer.
Now, no word on when prices might start to go down, but experts don't think it's going to be anytime soon. In the meantime, more Americans are turning to things like electric vehicles or even bikes. Well, the president is meeting with the head of the Federal Reserve today to talk about the nation's inflation crisis. This, of course, as inflation takes a continued toll on Americans all over the country. Now, Biden says tackling inflation is a top economic priority, and Fed Chair Jerome Powell says he plans to keep raising interest rates until inflation comes down. But some are worried that could push the economy into a recession as well. So stay with us. We're going to be taking a closer look at that upcoming discussion and the potential implications here in the next few minutes. For the latest, you can always head to idahonews.com as well. So yeah, with all those stories we've just touched on, from gas prices to food and housing, we know times are tough for a lot of people right now in our community. They could be your friends, family, and neighbors. So CBS 2 and News Talk KBOI are teaming up to help Idaho families in need by hosting a hygiene drive. It's this coming Wednesday, June 8th. You can drop off these donations anytime at our studios here in downtown Boise between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. We're located at 140 North 16th Street, again, in downtown Boise. The Salvation Army will then pick up all those items and distribute them to local families, some of whom have been impacted by things like domestic abuse, others who are just struggling to pay bills. Now, we've put a number of the needed items out there on your screen, things like shampoo, conditioner, body wash, face wash, soap, toothbrushes, toothpaste, dental floss, anything you can think of that makes getting easier in the morning or getting ready in the morning easier on your part. If you'd like to learn more information or maybe make a donation online as well, you can do that too. Just head to idahonews.com.
Yeah, come stop by, say hi, and help some people out.
Yeah, makes a big difference. I mean, we all feel it. I think, it feels like, now I think about how I was behaving at the grocery store. Now I am like looking closely at every label and every price and every comparison. I used to not do that in every situation, and now I feel like, it's just like $10 for a small bottle of this, like you start to think about it. So obviously, even if you can donate one or two things, it makes a huge difference for someone else in need.
Yeah, no, it is typical out there. Well said, Denny. Yeah, so again, come out, help us out, and come say hi. So let's talk a little bit about the weather, because of course we did have quite a bit of unsettled weather moving our way. We saw 5 inches at Bogus Basin. Sadly, they just slicked off the marker, so we can't show you, but we can show you at least some good news as well. This is our Idaho snow tell data. This is our percent snow water equivalent. So this is a snapshot in time right now. And what numbers you're seeing right here, normally we want to be at 100%. That's where we're at normal for this time of the year, but some are even above that, 222% of normal for the salmon area. The one I do want to note, Boise at 98, still good, but the area we see quite a bit of chronic drought, and we are expected to see this year is this area, the Littlewood, the Big Loss, and the Little Loss. So good to see some of that, again, being bolstered over those areas that definitely need it. And while it won't, again, wipe out our entire drought, it at least is helping us get a little further through the season for our farmers and for our ag. So that's good news there. Mother Nature a little late, but again, she's always right on time in her own way. So out the door forecast, 9 a.m., 49 degrees. It is pretty mild out there, though there are some spotty showers in the western Magic Valley. So grab your rain jacket. We are seeing some light fog as well. So if you are commuting in those areas, just take it easy and take it slow. We are warming into the mid 60s for daytime highs today, a good 5 to 10 degrees above what we saw for yesterday. So definitely we will note that those warmer conditions out there. So if you want to take your dog for a walk, highs 63 to 67 today. We're going to see a mix of sun and clouds with clearing. Overall sunset at 9:19 p.m. So a little bit extra sunlight. We do gain about 2 minutes each and every day. As far as our precipitation chances, basically non-existent now. So if you are in the western Magic Valley, you may see a raindrop, but other than that, not too bad. If you want to wash your car, you are in the green good category as we clear today. Sunshine Wednesday as well as Thursday. Couldn't ask for a better forecast as we continue to warm up. Some of that sunshine, you may not be thinking that today as you're stepping out the door, though. Still very cloudy, but warmer temperatures, clearing skies on the way.
Okay, I like it. I need it for a few days. I love the rain. We need it, but I'm ready for some vitamin D out there.
Yes.
All right, 6:11 this morning. Drive looking okay from where we're at on the quad cam. We'll check with Ron O'Brien, though, to see if he's back after the long holiday weekend. Ron, are you there? Did you enjoy your time off?
Yes, I did. And I'm here. Good morning. Other than the weather that we all felt. Doing great with the drive. Things have dried out, of course. Pavement, good shape, and everybody rolling right along. Looks great all the way around. Don't have any early issues. The widening continues. Highway 44, of course. Keep that spot in mind if you normally use Highway 44 in that area around Highway 16. No buildups this time of the morning, however. From the News Talk KBOI Traffic Studio, I'm Ron O'Brien.
All right, thanks, Ron. When you get in the car, turn on News Talk KBOI, either on 670 AM or 93.1 FM for more team traffic updates. Straight ahead this morning, addressing the U.S.'s inflation crisis, we're going to look closer at the country's ongoing struggle to make ends meet and show you more on the implications of that key meeting we mentioned was happening today. Plus, Russia's blocking Ukrainian grain exports from leaving the country. We'll look at the potential global implications this logjam could have in the months ahead. And our question of the day now, looking back at yesterday's question first, almost 60% of people agree that you should not do this before 8 a.m. Yeah, I agree. Call it a common courtesy. Don't call someone before 8 a.m., maybe unless it's an emergency. Whenever I get early morning phone calls, I worry that something's wrong because most people do wait until kind of a more normal hour. All right, today's question. 2/3 of us say we do this just to try to fit in. What is it? Share with us on Facebook or Twitter. We'll go over some guesses coming up about 30 minutes from now.
Well, good morning to our friends out in Idaho City. Today, 58 for the high. We are going to see clearing from our mostly cloudy skies to just a mix of sun and clouds. Overnight tonight, 37. We are looking at tomorrow, a high of 62 with partly sunny skies.
Thanks, Sarah. At 6:15, you're looking live in Washington, D.C. Now, President Biden and the head of the Federal Reserve are set to meet today to talk about the country's inflation crisis. Prices for just about everything still seem to be going up. John Lawrence has a closer look at the ongoing struggle for people to make ends meet.
President Joe Biden is meeting with Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell Tuesday, according to a White House official who says the tete-a-tete will focus on the inflation crisis gripping the country.
The American families are confronting price increases. They're having a hard time dealing with their family budgets.
One of the items hitting people in the wallet especially hard, filling up the car.
I certainly have rethought some of my summer plans, both in flying and in driving.
The national average for a gallon of regular is more than $4.60 as of Tuesday, according to GasBuddy.com.
Price is now up $1.55 a gallon from a year ago, and it may get worse before it gets better. The average commute may be 12 and a half miles, and the average car gets 25 miles a gallon combined. You know, you're going to pay $4.60 every day on your way to and from work, and that's certainly going to add up over the course of a week.
Many Americans are also dealing with sticker shock at the grocery store, where double-digit year-over-year price hikes are being seen from mustard to frozen meat.
Supply has been hurt by extreme weather that's lowered crop yields. Labor costs are up. The war in Ukraine has disrupted supply. So all of these different factors adding to the cost of living.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Well, overseas, European Union leaders have agreed to ban 90% of Russian oil imports by the end of the year. It's the bloc's strongest stance against Russia so far in this war. Officials say the ban immediately covers 2/3 of oil imports from Russia. The embargo also covers all oil brought in by the sea, but does allow for a temporary exemption for pipeline deliveries. Meantime, Ukraine's president says Russia is also blocking millions of tons of grain from being shipped out of the country. President Volodymyr Zelensky says that Russia is deliberately blocking about 22 million tons of it to prevent Ukraine from earning any money. Now, Ukraine warns that the blockade does threaten to create a famine crisis in other countries as well. And McDonald's is getting ready to pull out of Russia. When it happens, the existing locations will change their names. Now, McDonald's is selling all 850 of its locations to a Russian businessman. They indicate new potential names could include Fun and Tasty or Just Like That. The new stores are set to open in mid-June. I was reading a little bit more about that because I was curious about the choice of name, but it was saying that a lot of Russians were literally like waiting hours in line to get their last McDonald's meal this past weekend because the chain's kind of officially shutting and leaving. Yeah. So people were waiting a long time for that Big Mac and their favorite Mickey D's meal.
It's got to get that last McChicken before
it runs out. I can't blame them. I'm sure like if McDonald's were ever to leave the United States, which obviously would never happen, like I would probably sit in line and wait for one too.
It just kind of blows your mind to think about because it's so ingrained.
And it's also bad.
It's so bad.
Sometimes you just want the grease. You want the grease and you want those fries.
Yeah, well, I don't know about you. If you're waking up this morning, maybe you want to do a little bit of a lighter fare. I don't blame you if you want to grab that McGriddle or whatnot. Let's take a live look outside this morning because devastatingly beautiful, guys. I just want to lay on this for just a quick moment because literally the most beautiful view up there. This is looking towards Idaho City this morning. From Bogus Basin, yeah. Okay, beautiful. So a beautiful view up there. Still seeing, of course, that patchy fog. Not quite burning off yet this morning, but at least it gives us a gorgeous start to our morning. And I hope you all are having a good start to your Tuesday morning. And this hopefully is a little foreshadowing for the week ahead because more sunshine is in store. It's hard to move past that one. But as we're starting up the day, let's kick it off. We do have some spotty showers for our friends in the Western Magic Valley, so keep that in mind here. We are just looking at cloud cover, 46 at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. 47, 48 by the time we hit 8 a.m. So as our temperature history shows, we did see some warming and then the roller coaster that was cooling us on down to the 50s for our daytime highs. We do have another storm system moving in for next weekend, but the good news is it's not going to be as cold or hold as much precipitation. Though our snowpack definitely does need it, again, those warmer temperatures are definitely going to be nice and enjoyable. So right now, this is what we're looking at as far as any type of precipitation over the region. It's just to the south of I-84. So again, if you're commuting down to the Hagerman area, just keep that in mind. As far as our friends up in the McCall area, patchy fog, grab that large cup of coffee. We are looking just at a mix of sun and clouds, 38 for the high. So temperatures right now across the Treasure Valley, here's a look, mid 40s, 38 up in McCall. So here's a look at our precipitation chances. I'll move out of the way so you can see a chance of a few spotty showers for, again, the central Idaho mountains for your today. All right, we'll try to get that going, make my mouth match up with my brain. But overall, we are looking at clearing, warming, and it is going to be beautiful tomorrow. Just wait until you get Thursday, because tomorrow's going to be average temperatures. Then we finally get into the low 80s.
Yeah, I like that 7 day. I want to see more of it this morning. Okay, 621 this morning. Drive looking good here on the interstate. Not seeing much to speak of. We did have the structure fire on Cleveland Boulevard. Ron O'Brien told me he just checked with dispatch. They have cleared that area, so Cleveland Boulevard back open. Anything else to add on that or anything else, Ron?
Nope, good to go. Of course, traffic light in that area even when it was closed. But yeah, Cleveland Boulevard open in that area west of Ustick, so good to go there now. And very quiet elsewhere, too. It's light traffic. You can see some of the camera shots even around the merge areas in Meridian. Other spots doing all right. Started off this morning. From the News Talk KBOI Traffic Studio, I'm Ron O'Brien.
All right, thanks, Ron, for that update. When you get in the car, turn on News Talk KBOI either on 670 AM or 93.1 FM for all your team traffic updates. Oh, got the hiccups. All right, coming up this morning, stepping up to the plate, we have a preview of what you can expect during the Boise Hawks summer season this year. And later, the 2022 fire season off to a bad start. We'll look at how many acres have already burned this year in the U.S. compared to an average one and what it all could signal for the summer ahead.
Be the first to know about breaking Idaho news and get help planning your day with the latest detailed weather forecast. Download the CBS 2 mobile app today. Sponsored by Westmark Credit Union.
This is CBS 2 News this morning.
6:25 on your Tuesday. Baseball season now underway for the Boise Hawks. Fans actually braved the cold and rain over the weekend to see the team play at home. And there are plenty more games on the schedule if you missed out, so don't worry. CBS 2's Angela Kerndal, though, shares what fans can expect throughout the season.
The start of the Boise Hawks season is underway.
We're thrilled to get started.
Hawks manager Mike Van Heist says over the last year they invested about $500,000 in player amenities and the fan experience, including a new beer garden and kids area.
Fans, even if they haven't never been here before or have been coming here year in and year out, when they walk in Memorial Stadium, a lot of things are going to be different.
For those new to the area, there's a lot to enjoy at the Hawks games.
I really like when the Hawks go up to bat. It's just so fun to see like the home runs.
CBS 2 is proud to sponsor Fireworks Fridays several times throughout the season. The first happening Friday night after the game. There's Sunday fun days for kids.
I recommend it. It's so fun just to go to the games, get treats, sit and watch the game.
And on June 4th, the actor who played Smalls in The Sandlot will be here to meet fans.
You're kidding me, Smalls!
Hawks are starting their season off 2-3.
I'm looking forward to watching all of their games, and hopefully they don't lose a lot of them.
All right, well, there are plenty of great sports out there. This one might take the cake. Now, it's not an official sport yet, but still pretty cute. It's called dog paddle surfing. The cute contest took place in a seaside village over in Spain, but dogs accompanied their humans on a mile-long course around that bay. The water doesn't necessarily look super easy. There was also a beach yoga class that dogs could join in on afterwards as well. Takes some talent, though, to stay on those boards, even for us humans. Can't imagine for a dog. All right, coming up on CBS 2, today marks 1 week since 19 students and 2 teachers were gunned down at a school in Texas. We have the latest on the debate over gun control happening in Washington as a result. All right, here's your primetime lineup. FBI at 7, International at 8, Most Wanted at 9, and join us back here for CBS 2 News at 10. And then don't forget about our question of the day this morning. 2/3 of us say we do this just to try to fit in. What is it? We'll go over some guesses coming up next. This morning on CBS 2 News, funerals begin for students killed in last week's school shooting in Texas. What we're learning about the young lives taken far too soon. Plus, a hectic travel weekend winding down, but not without more flight delays and cancellations. The trio of challenges being blamed for the ongoing problems over the holiday weekend. And get this, $8 a gallon for gas, where you apparently want to stay far away from at all costs. And what's next for record prices here in the U.S.
CBS 2 News This Morning starts now.
Hey, good morning. Happy Tuesday, folks. Sarah Jacobson filling in for Nate Larson. And it is going to be a beautiful day today, though we are kicking it off on a cloudier note. This is again above the clouds up at Schaefer Butte, looking toward Idaho City. Cloud cover continuing to move through, almost looking like a sea of waves. Wake up with us up in the clouds this morning. It is going to be a beautiful day. We are going to see clearing across the region, though a few spotty showers are still falling just south of I-84 in the western Magic Valley. So keep that in mind, though it is cloudy for us here in the Treasure Valley. We're sitting at 46 degrees. Winds at least are calm, very mild out there this morning, but don't forget a jacket as you're stepping out the door. Here's a look at current temperatures right now in the mid 40s across the Treasure Valley, 43 for our friends down there in Kuna. A look across southwestern Idaho and eastern Oregon, 38 up in McCall. Good morning to you up there in the Long Valley. Right now what we're seeing is a backing low pushing east to west just south again of the I-84 corridor. If you are traveling between Boise and Mountain Home, you may run into just a few spotty showers and of course that patchy fog. But after the morning hours, you're looking green, good to go if you want to get that car washed. Overall, we are looking at clear skies both Tuesday, Wednesday, continuing to warm even into Thursday. And coming up, we'll talk a little bit more about just how warm we're going to get because June is almost upon us and a warming trend is in store. We'll talk about that coming up in just a few minutes. Denny.
All right, thanks, Sarah. It's 6:31, almost 6:32 on your Tuesday. Drive out there on the freeway. Looking good. Not much to share. Roads drying out. Good news. And yeah, light traffic volumes this early in the morning. We did have an incident on Cleveland Boulevard, a structure fire that had that road closed for a little over an hour, close to an hour and a half this morning. The road is back open, but there are still crews on scene. So just watch for firefighters in that area. But yeah, Cleveland Boulevard back open and everything else running smoothly. When you get in the car, turn on News Talk KBOI, either on 670 AM or 93.1 FM for more team traffic updates. Well, funerals begin today for some of the victims of the deadly mass school shooting in Texas. It's now been 1 week since 19 students and 2 teachers were gunned down at Robb Elementary School. Bradley Blackburn has more on those memorial services and also how lawmakers over in Washington are trying to find compromise in the gun control debate.
Funerals will be held today for 2 of the victims of last week's school shooting. Amory Jo Garza and Maite Rodriguez, both just 10 years old, were killed in their classroom 1 week ago. Maite's cousin says the 4th grader dreamed of becoming a marine biologist.
She didn't deserve it, but I just know in that moment she was brave. She was telling people where to hide.
Visitation was held yesterday for the girls at this funeral home, just steps from Robb Elementary. That's where the gunman initially began shooting before his attack on the school.
She looks amazing. She has this pretty white dress. That casket, she looks like nothing happened to her. She looks like she died at peace. We all know the reality.
A push to tear down the school is gaining momentum, including from the city's mayor.
I would never expect a child to have to ever walk in those doors ever again.
In Washington, the debate over gun control continues. A bipartisan group of senators is meeting over Zoom today to search for common ground.
I've been pretty motivated all along.
President Biden hopes the latest tragedies will help convince more Republicans to come to the bargaining table.
I think things have gotten so bad that everybody's getting more rational about it. At least that's my hope and prayer.
Following the 2012 school shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown, Connecticut, Congress failed to pass legislation expanding background checks. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
Funerals in Uvalde, by the way, are happening nearly every day between now and June 15th. All right, switching gears, you're looking live out at the Boise airport this morning. Still expecting a bit of a busier travel day there as people continue to come and go after the long holiday weekend. Flight cancellations, though, and delays, too, maybe made your Memorial Day travel more complicated. CBS News reports more than 7,000 flights were canceled over the weekend. Many airlines say staffing issues were partly to blame. A lot of employees also called out with COVID, and bad weather in the east just made things even worse. None of it stopped people from traveling, though. TSA says it screened a total of about 6.5 million passengers during the first 3 days of the holiday weekend.
This was the busiest I've seen it in the last 6 months.
So the Boise airport is expecting record traffic, not just through the terminal this past weekend, but also this summer as well. So prepare for that whenever you're traveling. As we look at the flight tracker, everything looking okay on the arrival side, except for one flight from San Francisco. It was supposed to get here about 10:50 this morning. That has been pushed back. On the departure side, everything is running on time. The majority of people, though, drove to and from their holiday destination. Gas prices didn't make that trip any easier either, though. Here's a check on where we stand this morning. National average right now at $4.62 a gallon, and in Idaho, we're at $4.73. Now, that price is up 30 cents from a month ago. For the cheapest prices, head over to the Albertsons on Apple Street. You can fill up for $4.59 a gallon there. And of course, we want to give you your daily reminder that it could be worse. Check that out. People are paying more than $8 a gallon in some parts of California. This is a Chevron station in downtown LA. Reportedly, that 805 number you see is one of the lowest prices around. Diesel is now costing more than $9 a gallon in some areas. California's average as a state is $6.17. Now, whether it's there or anywhere else in the country, unfortunately, some experts say things are likely only to get worse.
There is still the possibility that we could see the national average go even higher. I would say or estimate 60% odds of the national average hitting that $5 a gallon mark at some point later this summer.
Well, no word when prices might start to go down, but experts don't think it's going to be anytime soon. In the meantime, they say they're seeing more Americans turning to electric vehicles or even bikes to get around. Well, the president is meeting with the head of the Federal Reserve today to talk about the nation's inflation crisis. This, of course, as inflation takes a continued toll on people all over the country. Biden says tackling inflation is a top economic priority. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says he plans to keep hiking interest rates until inflation comes down. Some are also worried, though, that move could push the economy into a recession. Well, we know times are tough for so many people in our community right now for so many different reasons, as we've just spent the last few minutes talking about. So CBS 2 and News Talk KBOI are teaming up with the Salvation Army to help Idaho families in need. We're hosting a hygiene drive this coming Wednesday. You can drop off donations here at our studios in downtown Boise. Our address is 140 North 16th Street. We're going to be taking those donations all day Wednesday, June 8th from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Salvation Army will then pick them up and distribute those items to local families, some of whom have been impacted by things like domestic abuse, others who maybe are just struggling to pay bills. We'll be taking donations again Wednesday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Here are some of the most needed items. We're talking about things like shampoo and conditioner, body wash, face wash, soap, toothbrushes, toothpaste, dental floss, you name it. If you'd like to donate, drop them off at the station or make a donation online. We have all this information for you on idahonews.com. Such an important cause. We do this every year, but it just feels like time and time again it becomes equally important or more important over time.
Yeah, no, it's something that people definitely need. So we'd love to see you again, that 6 to 6 next Wednesday. Come on out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as far as temperatures and weather, we're looking on the up and up as we're heading in.
I'm kind of ready for it. I'm not ready for 90s. We had one day that and it kind of got cloudy in the afternoon, which kind of helped.
Thank heavens.
Save off the worst of the heat, but I'm not ready for that yet, but I want some 70s and 80s back.
Exactly. We're working on it. I know, Nate Larson left us for fairer weather, but right now I'm trying to at least keep it.
I'm hoping he's burning alive. Okay, I'm not literally, in case there's anybody there.
He's in a warm area. That's why a little sunburn as he leaves us during. Well, and Memorial Day too. The weekend was one of the wettest and one of the coolest on record as well. So pretty big stuff there too. Okay. Let's talk about that because our SNOTEL data definitely reflecting that as well. So what you're seeing right now is our snow water equivalent % of normal. So what we're looking at, we want to be at that 100%. Anywhere above that is excess. Anywhere below that, again, is what we need to bolster. So right now, 98% of normal for Boise. But the cool thing to see right now, this snapshot in time, is at least the Littlewood, the Big Lost, and the Little Lost. Now, this is the area that we've seen cumulative years of drought, at least for the last decade. So it's good to be able to see that bolstered a little bit. It'll help us at least get our growing season out a little bit further for our farmers and our ags. So overall, at least for stepping out the door this morning, like I said earlier, we are on the up and up as far as temperatures. Stepping out the door at 9 a.m., 49 degrees. We're getting up to daytime highs in the mid 60s. We do have some light fog that will be burning off and clearing skies as we head further into the afternoon. Our dog walking forecast is looking good. Highs 63 to 67. We are looking warmer with a mix of sun and clouds. Sunset gaining another 2 minutes today to 9:19 p.m. for your sunset. So a beautiful day. We're only going to continue to warm. Precipitation chances staying low. We did have a few spotty showers early this morning out in the Magic Valley, but that does look to be tapering off south of I-84. So if you do want to get your car washed, itching to maybe clean that out, you're in the green good category today, tomorrow, and the day after that as we continue to warm back above average by the time we hit Thursday as well. So overall, it's going to be a beautiful day. Pretty mild, though, if you're going to be heading out this morning. Some cloud cover still, but again, clearing as we continue on through the day, and it's only going to get nicer as the week wears on.
Looking forward to it. My car needs it. At least it wasn't like that mud rain we had a couple months ago. That was bad. All right, it's 6:40 this morning. Drive, not looking bad at all. We will check in with Ron O'Brien in the News Talk KBOI Traffic Center to make sure nothing's popping up out there that we can't see, but hopefully a good start to your Tuesday, Ron.
It is a very good start. So far, quiet, getting a little more morning traffic here and there. No big buildups, even non-freeway routes. I-84, not much of any merge slowing in Meridian, even at 10 Mile Meridian Road quite yet. But starting to see volume increase a little bit. Highway 44 has been holding up okay, too, in that lane restriction area near Highway 16. The widening continues on Highway 44 there between Highway 16 and Linder. From the News Talk KBOI Traffic Studio, I'm Ron O'Brien.
All right, thanks, Ron. When you get in the car, you can always turn on News Talk KBOI, either on 670 AM or 93.1 FM. All right, today's question of the day, this is an interesting one. Sometimes we don't like to even admit the things we do to fit in, but 2/3 of us say we do this just to try to fit in. Oh.
Yeah. I know that we said this earlier, but I think, honestly, buying certain clothes, certain name brands, I used to do that a lot when I was younger.
Oh man,
But
yeah, and it's tough right now. I think that's a great guess. Like, buy certain brands, dress a certain way. That's something that, I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of. Doug says going out to bars. Yeah, I mean, just kind of the idea of being social.
Social, yeah, no, I mean, you want to get together with other people, but sometimes it's kind of feels like a little drag.
Yeah.
Sometimes I totally get
Something
that.
that I've noticed with myself the past couple of years is like with masks. When people are wearing them, it's a lot easier to wear it. Yeah. If you still want to wear it and then everyone else around you takes it off, you start to feel the societal pressure that you can like to take it off.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So I've seen some interesting things on that side of it. Verlin says joining a social media service. Yeah, I talked about that last hour too. Just being on social media at all. I think I'd be much happier not on any of them if we weren't at work, but at the same time, you don't want to miss out on everything that's going on.
It is. It's definitely a balance.
Dark. I know. Okay, that's a great guess. What are you thinking this morning, Sarah?
I don't know. I like Darren. Sorry, this just popped up. Wearing street clothes over the top of our superhero costumes. I like it.
If you were a superhero, what would your superhero name be?
Oh gosh, I'd have to think on that one. What's yours? Do you have one?
I said the Nighthawk because last name Hawkins. Hawk kind of comes into play there, and then since I'm awake like all night.
You are, yeah. No, the Nighthawk. I like it.
You can just call me. We'll start putting that on my lower third, the name banner that comes across the bottom of the screen.
Oh, it's too great.
I love all these guesses. Keep sharing them. You got about 15 minutes to get them in this morning, and we will share the correct one with you right before 7 o'clock. And coming up this morning, severe weather strikes the Midwest. We'll look at some of the damage left behind from an intense storm yesterday and show you which areas could see more severe weather today.
Welcome back, friends. 6:45 on your Tuesday. Today we are looking at 58 degrees for our friends in Idaho City. Cloudy right now, but we are going to see some clearing. Tonight, an overnight low of 37 degrees. That cloud cover going to stick around, but we will see clearing skies, partly sunny, a high of 62 for tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Sarah. At 6:46 on your Tuesday, millions in the Midwest could see more severe weather today after damaging storms yesterday. In Minnesota, a possible tornado destroyed dozens of homes. Bradley Blackburn has a closer look at the cleanup effort now underway.
From the air, you can see the trail of destruction, the path of a suspected tornado in Ferrata, Minnesota. It snapped trees, ripped off roofs, and county officials say at one point cut off all roads leading to town.
There's so many trees and homes. I would say there's at least 75 to 100 structures that are totaled or severely damaged.
Fire Chief Stephen Van Luke said the storm damaged the firehouse. Crews went home to home, but thankfully found no fatalities or serious injuries. Still, many people are displaced.
The Red Cross has been here. They've been helping people find a spot to stay temporarily. So, yeah, everybody's coming together.
The severe weather system barreled through Minnesota on Memorial Day. It dumped heavy rain and left tens of thousands of people without power.
There were about 3 booms, and then you could see the sparks on the power lines.
At one point, more than 1 million Minnesotans were under a tornado watch, a rare event in this region. In Ashby, dark clouds sent families scrambling for cover.
Came right through our garage, hit it. Luckily, it didn't hit any of our house.
Severe storms also struck Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where uprooted trees crashed through homes, crushed cars, and frightened residents in the middle of the night.
Our bedroom window is right there. It would have gone across to our bed.
Those severe storms are now making their way east, predicted to stretch from as far north as Michigan all the way down into Texas. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
I see those stories and it always makes me think about where the trees are at my house and location in proximity to my bedroom. All right, well, let's turn to fire season. Currently, there are 9 large wildfires burning in the U.S. right now, a lot of them in Mexico. But of course, we know fire season could flare up closer to home anytime now. And statistically speaking, 2022, not off to the best start. The National Interagency Fire Center says fires have burned more than 1.8 million acres already this year. That's nearly 1 million acres more than average. You just see it and you hope it's not a sign of things to come.
I know, really, though. But the good news, at least with our last storm system, it was one of the wettest and coldest that we've had in quite some time for our Memorial Day. So good news there.
You hope we're done. You know, I mean, we saw snowflakes in the mountains. We didn't see any of that down here on the valley floor. But we have had snow in Boise, not like more than a trace, but it's been, I think, June 8th or 9th. I remember it vividly. When I was in high school.
So still a chance. No, I'm just kidding. But it is looking like we do have a warming trend heading our way for June. So luckily it doesn't look like colder air moving in. But yeah, no, it definitely is possible. This is Idaho after all. So a live look this morning. Still a beautiful view up there at Schaefer Butte looking toward Idaho City. Again, seeing some of that first light out there this morning. As far as your frosted weather weeks, we are kicking this morning off on a great note because we are clearing and warming as we head further into your work week. Here's a look at hour by hour. At least to kick off your morning, mostly cloudy skies are going to start us off. Then we'll start to see clearing as we head into the afternoon. Our temperature history, we did see kind of a little bit of a nosedive with that, again, system that moved through over the weekend. We do have another storm system moving in for next weekend, so not the best timing for our recreators. The good news, though, we won't have as much cold air pushing in, so temperatures will be in at least the mid-60s, so only a few degrees below our average as opposed to about 10 to 15 below our average. Right now, we're looking at our precipitation just south of the I-84 corridor, so if you are traveling down to the Hagerman area, just keep that in mind. You may be dodging some rain showers, but other than that, it is looking pretty good. Just cloudy skies. Good morning to our friends up in the Long Valley, McCall, 38 degrees. A large cup of coffee is what you'll need for this morning to get you through your Tuesday. Cloudy skies at the Boise airport. Temperatures right now in the mid to low 40s. 38 for our friends in McCall. So today, again, we are going to see clearing. There is some spotty showers up in the central Idaho mountains today. It will be very light, moving out by about the 8 a.m. hour. Then high pressure begins to build into the region, the beginning of this warming trend as we head into the start of June. If you can believe it, we're already there. So here's a look at that 7-day forecast for you. Up, up, up as we continue to warm, getting to a high of 83 degrees by Thursday. And just in time to get above average, we start to see another little bit of a nosedive with another system moving in for this weekend. The good news, though, still temperatures at least near normal.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Not going to nosedive us down into the 50s again. Could impact likely the mountains more than here in the valley. So hopefully still some nice days coming our way in the weekend with comfortable temperatures.
Yeah, shouldn't be too bad.
All right, it's 6:50 this morning. Thanks, Sarah. We'll check in now with Ron O'Brien in the News Talk KBOI Traffic Center one last time to see if there is anything else to worry about on the radar out there right now as far as the roads go. Hey, Ron.
Hi there. Not much kicking in. Overall, doing just fine, really. The merge spots like Meridian Road, 10 Mile, where you can get into some crowding, that's been minimal. And looking at Highway 44, a little more volume starting to show up, a little local buildup light at 16, or even east of that point, you can get into a little bit of a delay near Palmer Lane, east of Highway 16 on 44. The widening continues there. Keep that area in mind. From the News Talk KBOI Traffic Studio, I'm Ron O'Brien.
All right, thanks, Ron. When you get in the car, turn on News Talk KBOI, either on 670 AM or 93.1 FM for all your team traffic updates. And still to come this morning, we're talking summer travel, which is expected to rebound in a big way this year. I'll show you some of the top destinations in Europe and a few things you can do to beat the crowds wherever you go.
This is CBS 2 News this morning.
6:54 on your Tuesday. Looking ahead to the summer travel season, health experts are warning that COVID-19 cases could rebound around the globe, but many of the restrictions and rules have lifted both here and in Europe, and that means travel starting to look a little more like it did before the pandemic. Wendy Gillette has some advice for how to deal with crowds if you're planning a big trip soon.
Travel from the U.S. to Europe could soar as much as 600% compared to last year, according to recent data from Allianz Partners.
The exciting thing for me is the energy is back in Europe.
European travel expert Rick Steves just returned from a 45-day research tour of the continent.
It's just going to be busy. For the first time in my career, I've been recommending you need to make reservations for restaurant dinners.
He also advises figuring out which museums require advance reservations, determining when cruise ships will be docked to avoid places when they're crowded with passengers, and visiting secondary cities.
I mean, everybody goes to the first cities, Edinburgh, why not Glasgow? Everybody goes to Paris. Check out Marseille.
If you're dead set on the hot spots and really want to do it up, consider indulging at a Parisian palace. Not an actual palace, but the French designation for an exclusive category of luxury hotels. Hotel Lutetia is the most recent of 12 Paris properties on the list.
So it's better than a 5-star hotel.
The Four Seasons George Cinq made the cut. The brand, which also just opened the San Domenico Palace in Taormina, Italy, in a 14th century convent, has created one of the most famous hotels in the world, thanks to its Michelin-starred restaurants and lavish flower displays.
The flowers that change, every 6-7 weeks. We change the color schemes. We have florists on site too.
You can also stay in a real palace and have the whole place to yourself. It's an option here in Vienna, Austria, at the city's famous Schönbrunn Palace. When the horse-drawn carriages and tourists clear out, you're left inside, staying in an opulent 2-bedroom suite with views of the famous gardens.
You can walk around in the park areas all alone, and that is really unique and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
We got special rates to check out the hotels. This one starts at $900, so you can feel like royalty, at least for a night. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, Vienna.
Okay, well, as we get to our question of the day, hopefully you're not spending $900 a night on a hotel room just to fit in. But that's kind of what we are looking at. 2/3 of us say we do this just to try to fit in. The answer, Sarah?
Laughing at jokes you don't understand.
Or don't think are funny. Yeah, I'm guilty of that. Like, AKA everything Nate says.
Yep,
I'm just kidding. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 11 today.
Take the news with you on the radio. News Talk KBOI. And for news and information 24 hours a day, click on idahonews.com.